Okay, this problem that we're going to look at here, I'm going to share my screen real quick. This problem we're going to look at is going to be PR1-3. And so PR1-3 asks us to examine a data set. They give us the SkyDO drone skew data set, and they want us to address several different Excel questions using the Excel formulas that they suggest. So I will tell you up front, there are a lot more ways that you can get to the answer. And in fact, if you're not watching this video, you may have used one of those ways because you're familiar with Excel. Some of them, these other ways that we can get to the answer are going to be more efficient than what they suggest, but they're starting at sort of a basic starting point of how we can start to incorporate functions and formulas within Excel to try to get at some of the answers. And so remember, we're just in chapter one. We will learn a lot more efficient tools as we progress. And if you're not very familiar with Excel, that's completely okay because we are starting at a good sort of foundation or base. If you have no experience with Excel, then as they suggest, you might want to look at Appendix A right over here before starting because it will give you some training. Also, don't forget, you are assigned cubicle trainings to do as well, and that will give you some exposure to Excel also. But what I've done is I've taken the data set that they've given us, which is right here. So this is the data set when you actually click on this hyperlink here, you will be given a download that looks like this data set. And then I have put the questions from the problem on Connect right here next to it so that we can just answer it right in the Excel file. So as I suggested from a previous video, I'm just going to go ahead and create a copy here. I'm going to move this to the end. So I right clicked on the tab is what I did. And then I clicked to create a copy and I am going to move to the end and I'm just going to rename it to say modified version 1 here. And then that way I always have the original that I can go back in case I made any mistakes or something like that. And remember, some mistakes are just part of the process. Sometimes, especially when we get into complex sort of questions and stuff, sometimes we're gonna have to go back and look, hey, did we do something wrong? Do we need to change something? And that's okay. You're gonna confront this as you sort of get into the field outside of school. It takes a lot of time to analyze some of these data sets. This particular set is pretty small, and the questions are pretty straightforward, but not all of them. And so, it's important to remember, don't get frustrated if you make a mistake. We just go back to original version if you need to, and you'll always have that there. Okay, so first question that they ask us is what is the SKU with the highest sales price? Okay, so sales price, we've got a sales price column here. We've got a SKU column here. And what they want is the answer from the SKU column, but it's dependent upon the sales price. Now, again, there's more efficient way to do the answer than what they're going to suggest. But what they want us to use is a max function on the sales price column. So I'm going to type in equals max. And that they give you this in the Connect homework problem, so they'll actually show you the formula. But you always start a function or formula with an equal sign. That starts the formula, and then Excel has a lot of predetermined formulas that you can use. You can write your own too, but they have a lot of predetermined formulas that you can use, and max is one of those. It looks for the highest value within a range of cells, and so we're going to highlight this range here. We're looking for sales price here. And then we are going to end the parentheses. So we type equals, whatever the formulas we want to do, start the parentheses, highlight the range, end the parentheses, and then push enter or return. And that is going to give us our highest value. And so then we're just going to go to that. So 2599 is right here. And we can tell if we just kind of go over left a few, we get to the SKU. I'm going to copy that with Command C or on a Mac or Control C if it's a PC. And I'm going to paste it here, Command V or Control V. You could also right click if you want to. There's a number of different ways you can do this. If it is still highlighted, so if you can tell over here when I copied it, it's, has this sort of dashed looking box over here. And then when I went over here and I pasted it, you notice that the dash is still going on. And so to end that, you can just hit escape and it'll stop that. And then you can move on to your next piece. So that's our first answer. Let's go on to the next one. It says, what is the highest cost of any SKU? So here they're actually looking for a value within a single column, the cost column. So I'm just going to go ahead and put max again, start my parentheses, highlight my range, end parentheses, and enter. And that is our dollar value answer that it wanted. To make these maybe a little bit more clear too, I'm going to highlight all these and I'm going to go ahead and turn them into, let's do commas here. That'll be a little bit more comparable. Okay. The next thing that it asks us to do is what is the SKU with the lowest sales price? So here they're going to ask us to do a min function. Again, they tell you which function they want you to use. And we're in sales price again. So we'll click here, push down. In order to highlight the entire field there, the range without any break, you can hold down Command Shift on a Mac and then just push down and end the parentheses, and that will highlight the entire range there. Okay, so the value is 19 here, so we're going to go to 19 and the sales price, scroll over, copy that, and paste that, and that gives us our next answer. Now it wants to know the lowest cost of any SKUs. So here we're just looking at a single column. So type min, go to cost, get our range calculator selected, and then push enter here. And there's our dollar value for the lowest cost of any of the SKUs. Again, if I want to make it consistent, I'll make a dollar value here. Okay, now we'll go to the average sales price of the SKUs offered for sale. Here they want us to use an average function. So we'll type average, start my parentheses, hit the sales price column here, end the parentheses, and once we have the range selected, push enter or return, and that gives us our average sales price. I'll make that consistent with dollar value here again. And then the last one is median for the cost column for all the SKUs offered. Median's that middle value is what it's looking for here. So I'm going to type median. Again, this is a pre-built function that we have here. So I'm just going to highlight my range and the parentheses here, push enter, and that gives me my answer for the last one. And that is problem PR1-3. So I'm going to stop sharing and end this video.